because it's intoxicating, that feeling, being on stage. But for me, I don't think anything could ever beat that human connection and that vibe. Like, I just came off a tour where it was 5,000 women in each city. The energy was out of this world. Like, it was so insane. But at the end of the day, the other side of that is that all that energy, all that stuff that they're creating is getting thrown at me. So when I come off stage, I'm like, for a while.
Speaking with Secure D.
Yep.
Yep.
Matt, he did some shoes for me.
Oh, for sure. Okay. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
And he was taking us through his journey, which was, I guess, just aligned with just how the sneaker culture has shifted from just being a collector at an early age. Because, he's about the same age as me, so he would have started collecting during the Jordan era.
Yeah.
And how now, like with online, it's just people writing algorithms and bots to be able to just get the quick purchase.
I don't
to
even
resell.
bother anymore.
Can't.
Like, you don't. Yeah, exactly. I wear Hokas now. I love my Hokas. No disrespect, because Hokas are sick. I just wear them now for comfort. But like, I had like 500-600 pairs from working at Sneaker Freaker, and they've all just gone now. Like, and a lot of that was not. Yeah, again, I mean, I've still got the ones that I had from back in the day, where there's a story behind them. It took a long time to get them, because also as a female trying to find sneakers back then, nothing was in our size. You know, you could go to, what was it, Ghetto? I think it was above the factory. What was that place? On Chapel Street, on the corner of Chapel and Toorak. There's a Ghetto, like a sneaker store. And this is back in the day. This is the 90s. And like, they had shell toes. I finally got in shell toes, but you could never get them in a size 7. Always started at a 9, you know.
Ghetto. Because I went to school right there.
Yeah.
In corner of Chapel and...
Yeah, remember, was it like the roller rink? Was it a roller skating rink?
Oh, is that like Johnny Rockets?
Well, Johnny Rockets is there now, or was there, but then there was another place as well.
And there was like fun...
And Q-Bar was underneath.
Q-Bar. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it was around in that...
Yeah, it was just upstairs, up in those stairs. So,
okay.
It was one of the regular haunts that I'd go to and just look at them and be like, one day.
That was I think part of the culture with the like being a collector was being able to source it.
Yep.
Right. Like, and I think there's just so much about that. Like, not just the process of getting it, but like with so many things, right? Like, I've talked about records, vinyls, right? Like how that's coming back, and there's a ritual behind getting the vinyl, opening it up, putting it down, and displaying the case.
Yeah.
Displaying the
Cover art.
The cover art.
Yeah. Gatefold cover up.
Yeah, there's that ritual in it that you lose when you're jumping on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with sneakers as well. Like, it's one thing for it to be rare, but the rarity doesn't even really matter anymore if there was no chance of you getting it.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And I think for me it was, twicefold, because of the fact that I was a girl and had smaller feet, to even be able to find anything to wear. So when I did find an original pair of 85 Jordan 1s, and like in a 7 that I could never wear because they're all just like crusty at the top and like the sole's half falling off, but I'll never get rid of them, because that's one. First of all, I wanted them as a kid. I could never have them because I was the Greek girl that had to wear the shoes, never allowed to wear sneakers. Was always idolizing my brothers that got to wear the Romes, the Adidas Romes, or Jordans even. And then, as soon as I moved out of home and moved to Melbourne, I was like on the hunt for every sneaker I could get. Yeah. And then in turn, it turned to vinyl as well. Working in a record store.
Here we go. That's how that's the transition. You're
just
a collector.
Just collecting.
Because you got stuff.
Hoarder. Yes, I do have a lot of stuff. I pared back a lot, but then I got a studio space, and now it's kind of ramped up again.
So whenever you have the room, you'll just fill it, rather than like, I've got more room to spread out.
No,
I
like things filled up, like my tummy. I like it all filled up, lots of things. Yes, I'm a bit gluttonous like that, but that's all right.
It's a push and pull for me, because seeing your space, it represents your energy really well, right? Like, it's not just the stuff and the array of stuff, but just the color and the vibrancy.
Yep.
That in so many ways stresses me out.
Yeah.
Being in spaces like that.
Yeah.
And like, I've got 2 boys, And it could be that connection when there's just stuff everywhere. I can't feel settled, but at the same time, I really appreciate how people have, I guess, I don't want to say live with stuff, but just have things that they appreciate. And
well, it's organised. It's very organised.
Yours is organised.
Because I'm also pretty control freaky with things, like especially at home, because I also have kids, right? Older kids, stepkids. And like, I like things being in order. And that was something new for me to come into a relationship where things are not so much in order because, you got teenagers and order is not on their top of their list, right?
They all boys?
No. It's an older boy and then a girl who's doing year 12 and
cool.
They're awesome. They're the best. But like for me, like I came from living by myself too for 4 years. And so I at home need a lot of structure. But then like if I go to a hotel, like when I'm traveling, there's shit everywhere. It's just thrown everywhere.
And like it just happens,
it's
doesn't it?
It's like that. And like my partner's always like, it's so weird how like so laxy you are at like a hotel room, but at home it's like all structured. And I went, yeah, I know, that's my weird anxiety. I don't know.
Organised stuff, organised chaos. Yeah, I like that. I wish I
organised content.
Organised content. So I wouldn't say chaos.
There's no chaos.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I have a Nick Tom art piece. You know Nick Tom?
Yeah.
So I have I've got plenty of his art pieces, but I've got one up in the studio because we've got a framer right near where I have my studio in Dramana. And there's a framer like 2 doors down. They're amazing. And they did this piece for me. And I put it up in the studio and it's basically circular and, and the gradient. And it's intense, right? Like these, like it's quite, but way more intense. And the guy that works upstairs, Spud, who's my studio mate, every time he comes in, it's right where the door is, and he's just like, oh my God, it's so intense. And he also has 2 young kids, 2 young boys. So maybe that's the thing too for him, where it's like it's too chaotic.
It's too much. Nick Tom's work is beautiful. So you got a round piece. Is it framed in a square?
In a square. Yeah. I wanted to do the round frame. Because have you seen his round ones with the round frame?
I haven't seen the round frames.
It's like an orb. It does look good. But everything else is square in the studio, or rectangle. So I didn't do that.
Round frames, wow.
Yeah, I never thought of that either. But that was something that he kind of proposed when he was selling the artwork. Because there's something great that he does is in the art piece itself. When you get it, he's got like a document that gives you kind of suggestions on how to frame.
Oh,
what would look good? Yeah.
Right. I couldn't even imagine how much a round frame would cost to get made.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'll be quite a process.
True.
So there's the stuff that you have technology, and I like what you were saying about how the technology does speed things up.
Yeah.
But then also creates so much chaos in that process. And maybe that's where we're at. Maybe there is, like, I feel as though that there is a bit of a intentional slowing down.
Oh, absolutely.
Of things, especially with the youth these days, how they just kind of want to start minimizing a lot of even with devices. I could just be talking nonsense because I've got, my oldest is almost 10.
Yeah.
So he's not at the age where he's constantly on a device. He doesn't have a phone, right?
Sure.
But I feel as though that there's going to be some more forced separation. And it'll be interesting just to see how things play out, because I just wonder, like in your space in music, you going from like having to pick everything up and learn things as you go, and then now with technology, there's basically the barriers for everything to get into anything these days is so low that everything just becomes saturated and flooded. Right. And it's almost like the standard also drops. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you found that?
Well, I think...
But then it drops, but also...
It might have dropped because there's more people in it. So...
As an average.
As an average, maybe. I think that, I think it can be a generalization because there are a lot of younger people coming up that are fantastic. And, I mean, they're in a totally different generation than us. They have a different outlook on how they approach stuff. My stepson, who's 22, is heavily into vinyl. Like, he basically just plays vinyl at home in his room and listens to vinyl. And, like, I mean, he's on his video games as well. He loves video games and stuff. But he's very into... And it's not like... He came up loving hip-hop and stuff. And so when I came into the house, I was really excited to show him the record collection and stuff. But he kind of moved away from that and is very much into, like, more Led Zeppelin and, like...
Is that your influence?
Not the Led Zeppelin, no, none of that, or the Eagles and stuff like that. No, like the hip hop. I don't think I have any influence on them. I don't think we
Okay.
do anymore. Maybe secretly, who knows? I'm not sure. My stepdaughter ended up coming to Fridays Live last year, and that was pretty exciting for her to be there. Or for me, even, like, just to show off, because, you know, everyone says to me, oh, your stepkids must think you're so cool, you're Mafia. I'm like, I don't give a shit. They do not care. They're cool. They're way too cool for me. I'm so intimidated by them. They're, like, very, very cool kids and very funny and very, like, just... They're both so smart and totally off of the question that you first asked me. Sorry.
That's cool.
Because that's what happens with me. I'm a tangential thinker. But I think what they've shown me is that they're in a totally different league than when how we thought back then.
Yeah, it's a different way of thinking.
Because even coming into a relationship where they've only known a mum and dad, and then I've come in and it's now a mum and stepmum, or Marie or Mafia, right? It's that there was no problem with them.
Did they know of your profile before you?
No, they had no idea. Okay. No.
Okay.
No, because they were younger. Like Sophia was 13 and Jack was 18. But I mean, I made it known. I was like, oh, this is what I've done. This is who I've supported. This is who I went up to with. They're like, oh, cool. Anyway. So, but also at the same time, it was like mum's now in a same-sex relationship. So,
yeah,
don't give a shit. Like, I think I cared more than they did.
Oh, okay. I hear you. So it's just a generational thing.
But this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm saying. Their thinking and like the thought processes. I mean, I look at a lot of stuff on TikTok of the newer DJs that come out and like they're doing all these mashup blends and everyone's getting excited for them and going viral. Or, you know, the stacks of people behind the decks and going off, you know, in the bedroom, in the apartment or whatever. And it's just, that doesn't seem realistic to me. That's not authentic.
Yeah, okay.
That kind of stuff. Like, that's very showy.
When you're saying not authentic as in the connection they have with the audience?
Yeah,
or
because
just
it's
the
for a
showmanship?
camera, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's for views. It's for, you know, and that's what content is. It's all for views, right? It's all for all of that. So I struggle a lot with content because I am a content creator. I have done it for a long time before it was even a thing. But I'm also, I'm of the theatre background where I like All Eyes on Me live, not in a TV world where it's kind of like projected out, anyone can watch it at any time, and you know, and then obviously you can get a lot more mass.
So you're good at separating. You can identify. You've drawn a line and saying that I'm creating content here, or or I am just living my life.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's kind of helped me live out in the peninsula too. Is it's very separated, like really
there's a lot of creative people that just move out that way.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
it's
you guys
awesome. There's a really good community out there, which I'm only just discovering 3 years in. Like I'm slowly discovering the community, but you know it's nice to come off tour and then go home and just no one knows you and retreat and be quiet for a little bit because, as you said, like my energy is.
The energy's great.
Yeah,
the energy I think is I mean, like it's necessary for what you do. I live under a rock, right? So there's a lot of things.
I was like, where's the rock? I'm like, that's a weird place to live.
And there's a lot of things culturally that I'm unaware of until it gets forced in my face on Instagram or whatever social media. And I just came across Jacob Collier.
Oh, I love him.
He's incredible.
Oh, what a talent.
And I think like genius level. Genius level. And what the clip that came up on the feed was him conducting the audience for the whole audience
with the harmonies.
The harmonies, and there was another one with Chris Martin when he came up and he was playing and performing, and then the whole crowd. That connection blew my mind. And it got me thinking, and this was just last week, and it got me thinking that coming up and speaking with you was like, what is that like really to have the audience, that environment, that atmosphere, and just being a literal conductor of that? Because everybody in that space where he was, they were all as one, right? Like there was a right in that moment, like really present. All the baggage was out, all the problems were out, all the differences didn't matter. They were just there. To be able to experience that would be something were almost like real human, like deep,
Yes.
deep, primitive.
And I
real
think a lot of
tribal.
people have asked me on that note, like drugs, because a lot of
Yeah.
artists get into drugs, you know, and are like, you can never experience, one, it's you can never experience that high again, or you want to keep that kind of, because it's intoxicating, that feeling being on stage. But for me, I don't think anything could ever beat that human connection
Yeah.
and that vibe. Like, I just came off a tour where it was 5,000 women in each city all coming together.
It looked epic.
Disco club. It was insane. And it was just me 3 hours on stage DJing. Like, no one else. I had some dancers come on, and I did my visuals as well, because I DJ with visuals as well. It was a lot of preparation to make it look really like organic and easy on stage, so that I could then really concentrate on the crowd, because there's something about like women all being together that have no there's no kind of barrier with, you know, being hit on in a club, men being there, no disrespect.
No, I hear you.
And like, you know, they've left their kids, they've left their husbands at home. They don't really go out a lot. You know, they don't get that opportunity. And they're all just 18-year-old women, girls that want to party, you know, and have a great time with their girls and sing and dance at the top of their lungs. Like, the energy was out of this world. Like, it was so insane. And like, to see women like Time of My Life, Dirty Dancing. I mean, a lot of like cheesy songs, don't care. I've never been cool. I don't care about playing that stuff. As long as these people are singing and dancing, having the time of their lives and forgetting all their shit, you know, to come together and to see them all literally lifting up their friends.
Yeah.
Like when Patrick Swayze lifts Jennifer Grey. I looked at, the first night of the tour, I looked out and I was just like, holy shit, all these women are lifting up their friends, and they're just like carrying them into the audience. And it's just like that togetherness and that kind of camaraderie is just so, you can't experience. I've got a bird's eye view. Like, I'm seeing it all happen.
You're conducting it.
But at the end of the day, the other side of that is that all that energy, all that stuff that they're creating is getting thrown at me.
Yeah, it's intense.
So when I come off stage, I'm like, for a while. And then I've had to really learn to strategize to come down off of that high and to back it up the next night. Travel, get on a plane, and then do it the next night as well. You know, and
that's like being a professional athlete and
Yep.
having playing your back-to-backs.
absolutely.
Like, it's more, I mean, the amount of energy expenditure.
Yep.
That
Like,
you
I rarely drink, don't do drugs, don't do any of that stuff. Like, I'm like,
dialed in.
What's that?
You're just dialed in.
I have to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm professional as well. Like, it's a job for me.
Yeah.
I take it very serious. But also, I'm a fucking dickhead on stage. I let it all out on
You
stage.
let go. You do.
I do.
Like,
I
it's-
have to.
That's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
the energy, right?
Yeah.
Like, and people feed off that. Like, when you're up there and you're showing that, you're giving permission to them.
Yes, that's right.
You know, and they're feeding off that, and they're like, you
Yeah.
got the music, you got the lights, you're bringing in all this movement, like, oh fuck, like, you just feel compelled.
Yeah,
to do
absolutely.
it.
I want to have more fun than anyone else is having. Like, I want to show them that.
That this is
like,
how
and
we
I
do
actually
this.
am. Like, it's no lie. I have the time of my life. Like, it is every time I hit the stage, every time I'm on a stage, every time I'm behind the decks, whether it's in a club, whether it's like a low key thing, whatever it is, I am so happy. Like, I am in my joy. And it's like, I'm so incredibly fortunate to be able to do this as a job, like, to get paid to do it. Like, I never thought that was a job. Like, I was always in the mindset of, like, the job that I had previous was the same. I was an actor. Like, I trained to be an actor. So it was always something in my head that I had to be able to do what I wanted to do. I couldn't be in an office. I couldn't, you know.
The thing with acting is that you have to, even when you're not feeling it, you got to be dialed in.
The show goes on. Though.
Yeah.
The show must go on.
And I think that, like, it's going to be pretty evident as well if you're not in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
There's no connection. Exactly.
Yeah, and like, you know, and people are feeding off that energy as well.
Yeah.
So for you on stage and just feeling a lot more natural and a lot more you're able just to.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate that I've never had anxiety and I've never had stage fright, and it just feels very natural to me. Never.
Really?
No.
That's such a I'm straight away. I'm picturing myself just standing in front of a crowd, and even talking to, you know, a dozen people. It's really. I guess that'd probably be more fearful, wouldn't it? If you were playing to a smaller crowd, you'd be like, "What?" Where? Like,
yeah, that's a little bit different. You're like, oh shit, that's exposing.
That would not work.
Yeah, it's exposing.
For one of your sets.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it plenty of times throughout my career.
Gig.
I've had like 3 people rock up. But you got to keep playing. But those kind of gigs, it was never about me anyway. It was more like your kind of background stuff or whatever. So I didn't take it. Like I didn't go well. And also, I think maybe as I've becoming older, I think more so now I've learnt to kind of go with the vibe, like read the room.
When you go with the vibe like that, when you're going on this tour, how many shows did you do?
We ended up doing 4.
Yeah.
And we did like Brisbane first, and then had 2 weeks off, and then Melbourne, then had a week off, and then Sydney and Perth. But Sydney and Perth were back to back.
Oh.
So we're talking like a Sydney show, and then a 5.5-hour flight at 6 a.m. in the morning. So there's no come down, and just get on the flight and then go straight, because, with delays and time differences, all that, you go, and there's a rehearsal period at each show, because we had dancers in every city that needed to be rehearsed.
Oh, they didn't tour with you?
No, not on this show, not on this tour. So there was also being available for rehearsal, available for different techs also in each city. So we had different crews in each city as well. And that's a reality now with touring. You got to keep costs down. So you can't tour people with you. You got to use who's at the place,
Right.
Which creates a lot more work, but you're all working together. Like, it's a team effort. We all do it, and we're all in it for the love of it anyway. So
would you have your sets already mapped out?
Pretty much, because of the visuals, because I was doing a VDJ set. A lot more times when I'm doing the visual DJ sets, I map it out. Like, it's pretty much mapped out, but I have a whole folder of stuff ready to go if something's not working.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm thinking when you're, I suppose that you're the conductor of the energy, of the vibe that's happening there. So, you'll have your set saying that I'm going to just build it up to this certain point, and then I know this is how they're going to be right now.
Well, with this show too, which is something I learned from doing a show last year at the Adelaide Fringe. I did my own show. It's called Hey DJ, A History of Hip Hop, but we changed it to a hip hop party jam, because to do a history of hip hop, you need at least 4 days. And you're going to piss off a lot of people. That was the first time I'd actually produced my own show. So it was something that was produced with a rapper, or an MC, a vocalist, 2 dancers, 2 break dancers, and I created the whole thing.
Wow.
I created it, lighting, music, choreography. Obviously, I had help with choreography. My partner's a choreographer.
Handy.
That worked out very well. And then we had one of the dancers on the show also was a choreographer, so she did more of the modern stuff, whereas my partner was also a dancer in the 90s, so it was very authentic to the era, which was fantastic. So I learnt to produce a show, and I learnt how to do a show produced, which is very different to doing a DJ set, because it's free form. You do whatever you want, improvisation, if you will. And coming from a theatre background, I do understand theatrics and I do understand production. So it kind of made sense that the two were going to come together at some point. And funnily enough, in Adelaide, because that's where I was born and where I started my acting career at 9 years old. So it was it all came together. A lot of my life is full circle. It's always full circle moments. And so when I did this disco club show, it's exactly how I approached it too. Because it was for 2 women called Lise and Sarah, who have a very, very popular podcast. Mm-hmm. They're from Brisbane. They're number 1 on Apple Music. They're incredible. And they created this dance party for just women that wanted to go out and party in a bowls club that now then grew and grew and grew. And then they came on board with Mushroom Records, who I'm signed with, they're my management, and we elevated the show. And basically it was Mafia, create a show.
Yeah, that's to put it lightly.
But with obviously a lot of input from everybody else, but the music's the biggest part of it. So I, thank God, had that kind of background of doing Hey DJ last year at Fringe to understand how to put together
the complexity of something of this scale.
Yeah, and what's the best way to curate it? I hate that word, but to curate it, how do we approach it? What sections? How are we going to make it flow as well? And it was very different for them to see a show like that. Very different for me to produce a show like that on that scale, 5,000 women at each show.
That's really interesting because you think about that as like when you're talking about theatre, or even to go to another level, even making a movie, right? How there is, you break it up to the different parts, and then at this particular point you want to reveal this, and then you kind of work your way through the narrative. And I suppose that's essentially what you're doing, right? Like you're trying to figure out the best way of presenting a 3-hour night. It's like you're here for 3 hours. How do we get the most out of it and the best out of it?
Well, we want to take it from literally being a Spotify playlist, which is what it was, to now more like a journey, a show. A show. And it is exactly that. You've got to ebb and flow, and you've got to take them on a journey. And I think, and without them even knowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when you go to a movie theater, you just want to sit back and eat your popcorn and go, shit, why am I so affected by this? You know? And so the best thing you can get, feedback you can get, is these women going, that was the night of my life. That was insane. But you're also going to get people that, with Hey DJ, with this show, with any show, that are going to be like, I don't understand it. I don't want to work. I don't want to think. I just want to go and party. I don't want to have to think that there's a journey.
Well, they don't have to.
You don't.
They don't. You're just a passenger in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's when I saw the Jacob Collier, and it kind of just. Yeah. I was just connecting these dots about just being an audience member. I'm one, like I used to hit up a bunch of music events when I was much younger. A lot less now. I just don't have that energy for it, or just I guess just to let my hair down like that. It's a lot of work. Right? At our age, and I can reminisce back on when I was younger, and what you do, how with again tying it back to that Jacob Collier, is how when you're in that environment, you're strictly in it, and it was just so amazing how you can be entirely present, and you're like, and especially with your sets, there's that level of energy where you don't even have the time,
there's no downtime,
capacity, to think. Like as soon as like there's enough for you to get into that song, and then before you know it, you're mixing in another one, and it's just constant just being in that space, in that moment, and it's just such a, I don't know, it's just a good feeling to be able to not be distracted. Yeah.
I guess so. And I think that comes with preparation too. For me, on the other side of it, like coming into a gig, like for those big shows, is coming into it being so prepared that I have the ability to be able to perform on stage and be entertaining, I guess, because I call myself an entertainer. I don't really call myself a DJ.
The preparation is a big one. And I think it goes beyond just knowing how to structure your set. There's all those like life peripheral things that you have to kind of like dial in and out just to make sure all of this works together.
Absolutely. And part of that, most of it is like, yes, one, making sure that everything works, like all the DJ equipment works and everything's like consistent. And because, when I'm doing a VDJ set, my setup is very different than just going into a club. So making sure all of that works and making sure I'm in touch with the techs and all that stuff. But also on the other end of it is the energy and making sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because like, how am I coming down off of this? How am I preparing myself to go up into this?
How did you go with that back-to-back, the Sydney to Perth?
It killed me.
Oh.
But it didn't really. I mean, no one would have known. Like, it was like you go into your reserves, and I have a lot of reserves.
Yeah.
And I also had that week off in between to kind of just bank it in. The producer was very nice enough to give us business flights as well. So there was a bit of space as well, and to be able to have a little bit of a rest on the flight. But, I mean, I'm used to it now because I've been doing those Fridays live tours, which are like 3 massive shows back to back, and then 2 weeks of that. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with the flights, with the 5 a.m. lobby calls, and then also with Mafia, change this, Mafia, do that, Mafia, we need this, Mafia, we need, and it's just constant. So it has to be, I have to have a lot of mental clarity and space to be able to deal with a lot of direction, a lot of things changing quickly. And again, it goes back to the acting career. Like, thank fuck I had that.
Yeah.
So I had that basis to understand how to do that, because it's not, it might be, I don't know. For me, I don't reckon there's a lot of DJs that could do that kind of stuff. Because they're just so, like, it's, okay, I'm playing the music, and that's all it's about. And that's great. I would love to do that too. I would love that. But I also really love the challenge, and to be able to still challenge myself at this age too.
That's awesome. Well, okay. So there's a couple of things there. Firstly, just about all the stuff that needs to work out, or all the different skills that you bring to the table, just so you can DJ.
Yeah.
Like I was talking, actually, a couple of episodes ago. It was Jack Fran. He is an Adelaide-based artist.
Yep.
And part of what we were talking about, big part of the conversation, was all the peripheral stuff that needs to be done for you to organise your business as an artist.
Yeah.
And for you, for sure, right? Like at the level that you're playing at, you're dealing, if you have your label and you have all the other people that have to organise the touring, not just the music part of it, but the actual structuring of the tours.
Yeah.
There's so much that needs to go right. There's so many skills that you need to bring to the table, so many things that you have to learn along the way. So
Yeah.
I hear you when you say that, like, there's not many people that can do it, but I don't think there's many people that are willing just to get to that level. I mean, that's why you're at the fine tip, right?
Yes, I'm at a nice tip. I like my tip.
You're at like
it's a good tip. It's not like I'm not headliner crazy, Avicii, Fisher, Dom Dollar. I'm now out of the clubs and out of like strike bowling, which I loved strike bowling. We all started there. Dom Dollar started there. We all started there. Like I'm more at like a space where I'm now. I'm an intersectional DJ in between all these larger artists, or I'm a support act, but I'm also on tour as the artist.
Yeah.
As an artist. And I hold myself like that. I'm really professional. I'm a cog in the machine. I make sure that machine keeps going.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? You've got to recognize the professionalism that needs to come to it, because it does sound like such a wonderful lifestyle that you could live, and there's so many ways that you can slice it up and make it your own, but then there's also there's traps along the way.
Yeah, but like for me, it's always been about, don't make it about me. It's not about me. It's always about, and that has given me a sense of relief that it's not about me. So like when I do Disco Club, when I do this tour, that's Lise and Sarah's show. It's their name on the product, I'm the conduit. I DJ, but it's not all that pressure of having to make it work, having to do like a lot of the logistical stuff, all of that stuff. That's not on me, I don't have to worry about that stuff. And I'm not the product. Do you understand what I mean? Like it's not Fridays Live. I'm not the product. I'm the intersectional DJ. My name's still on the flyer. I'm still on the show. People know who I am from the shows. That's great. But it's not about me. I'm not going out there going, I'm going to show Mariah Carey, the fucking DJ that I am. She's going to die. She's going to want me on tour with her. That's never been my thought process. Because I wouldn't want to do it. Like I want to just I like where I'm at. I love where I'm at.
It's a good spot where you are known for a particular, if whoever's going to go see Mafia, they know what they're coming for as well. They're here for a party.
Yeah, party.
How have you found keeping up generationally over the decades, keeping your finger on that music pulse? Because things feel like, and this is me showing my age, right? Like things are just evolving so much quicker, especially in the music scene.
Yeah.
Right. Like I am now way out of touch. I couldn't name anyone that is a popular artist at the moment. Like quite literally couldn't tell you.
Probably don't have to.
Yeah, so I mean, like I'm now back to listening to the stuff that I did when I was a teen, right? And that's just it. Like that's my lane.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking with it. You've got to keep evolving and introducing new
sounds.
sounds.
Well, not really, because
No.
I find those great gigs that align with that for me. I'm a throwback DJ, and I've always been that. Like that set that I played at Favela is the same set that I play at R&B Fridays. Like that set has not really changed much. That's the essence of who I am as a DJ. And yeah, I can play whatever you want to play. Like I've DJed for so long that I can play trance, I can play house, I can play anything, country. I can do it all. But what I'm known for and what I'm good at, which is like R&B, hip hop party sets and singing and dancing, like the girls just having fun, whatever. This show, this Disco Club, I keep talking about it because it's been fresh and it's the last thing I did.
Yeah.
So aligned with me because you've got women going there from 18 to 80 years old. So there's a wide demographic, and they do want to hit the younger targets. They want to hit the younger demographic. Same with Fridays Live. We want to hit the younger demographic. We don't want it to be about 90s R&B or 2000s, and that's why they've steered away from R&B Fridays. It's now just called Fridays Live because it's a new demographic. Because how many times can we have, well, we're all growing up, right? We're all moving up except for me. Except for I'm still here. I'm still doing it. But I'm so fortunate that there is an audience for that. And there always will be, because nostalgia never dies.
No, and I think that's why I'm locked in it, right? Like, it's just the '90s playlist is just what I go back to, but it is also just the generational thing, right?
And the future is fucking scary. Like, what's happening? Like, the future seems scary, so I think a lot of people like really do, like they long for that time before, you know. You see those TikToks that come out with like, what were you like in the 90s or whatever, and then it's just like, you see these photos and you're just like, oh my God, we were so cute. It was such a vibe. But we also forget that there was probably really hard times then too.
I guarantee there would have been.
Absolutely.
But because we were just sheltered from it, we were, yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? Like, I was, let's say teenage years when you don't know, you're not faced with any problems.
No.
And then like the music that I was listening to at uni as well, I can go back and reminisce on my uni days. And like, I was just talking with my son about this, my 10-year-old Lennox, about how in my uni days, like it was probably the easiest and the hardest time of your life. Like, you've never had things so easy, but at the same time, you never struggled so much.
Yes.
In that period of time. And then like I would listen to the music, and it would just take me back to that feeling. But for me, it almost feels like I feel like I squandered those years.
Right.
Rather
do you not feel like you got through it though?
Oh, of course I got through it.
I got through it. Like,
yeah.
You know, it was all good in the end. You know, all those anxieties. It was all good in
the end. It
was
all good in the end. Yeah, there is that. But I think that part of the nostalgia is just almost like, I guess, like wanting to claim that back and knowing that you can't. So it's just this like happy, sad kind of feeling. And then when you're playing it, you're just in it, right? There is no sad, right?
And like, I'm exactly the same DJ as I was back then too, which is killing my body. Because I've shot myself in the foot being so energetic and so bouncy on stage that my knees are gone, everything's gone, but it's all worth it.
So, speaking of having that same energy, and we talked about this, I saw you in 2009 at that Meredith, and I was looking that up and just seeing who else played. That's a huge lineup. I remember your set vividly because I was thinking, who the fuck is this? Because like it was right at the time that the energy we needed that type of energy.
Yeah, they were very good at curating that kind of time schedule there.
And I thought it was really cool that, when we were talking about it, that you remember that set as well.
Very well.
Yeah, like what was it about that particular set that
I think it was the first time I played in front of 15,000 people for one. Yeah. Like that was really pivotal for me because I've been DJing since 2000 and that was 2009. So I was incrementally coming up. Like it wasn't one of those things where it's like blown up overnight, like it can happen now. Like this was a lot of groundwork to get to Meredith. And the year before I'd been asked to play at Golden Plains, but I already had another gig, which was my residency at Alia and Gertrude Street, which I didn't know back then that you just go, well, no, I'm cancelling that to go to Golden Plains because I was so loyal and so professional with every show I did. I never cancelled. So I was like, and I think the people that ended up booking me for Meredith, because it's the same company, were just like, well, she's got her great morals. Maybe we'll get her back for Meredith. And that was just like, I remember rocking up. One, I'd never also been camping. Like, this is not my thing.
Oh, did you camp?
Oh, yeah. You like in a car, backstage, but not camping. Yeah, but I'd never been to something like that before. Yeah. Never understood festivals. Never understood any of that stuff. So, yeah, I remember just even driving in going, what the? What is this? What is this? What? I didn't know what it was. And so then I get backstage and I've got a dressing room and I've got my rider. And I never smoked cigarettes, never drank really. I drank so much that night and I think I smoked a packet of cigarettes on stage just from the sheer energy of people at me. And I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. And never smoked since. Like it was the weird thing. Yeah. And I just remember coming out on stage and only seeing the front rows, like the front couple of rows. And from that vibe that I got, they'd obviously been there up the front to see somebody else because they were all just kind of leaning on the barrier like, who's this chick? Oh boy, what is it? We
It's
don't get
cooked.
it. What is this from? Yeah, or cooked, exactly. See, I didn't know about drugs, so I didn't know that was a thing. But for some reason in my mind, I knew that everyone was off their heads. So I knew to switch up and I don't know how I did it. That magic moment of just like at 2:30 a.m. going, oh, I think I'm going to play Whitney Houston. I think I'm going to really throw a curveball in here and just do I want to dance with somebody, because I want to dance with somebody right now. I want to hear that. And I dropped it. And when I dropped the fader out for everyone to sing, I want to dance with somebody, which is, an easy DJ hack. We've all done it. And I keep doing it to this day. Love it. Because there's nothing like hearing that audience sing back to you. The guys that were doing the lights opened the floodlights to the whole, and that was the first time I'd seen how many people were there, and the
whole amphitheater was just
holy shit, and everyone was singing, everyone was going off, and I was just like, holy shit, and I've got goosebumps thinking about it now. It was insane. And then to come off of that stage, that was the first time I came off going, oh, what's wrong with my body? Why am I like this? And I couldn't calm down for hours. And then I coincidentally met a lot of people throughout the last 20 years or 15 years that have come up to me and just been like, that fucking said it, Meredith.
That's crazy. That is so cool. Because
I just met what's his name? Fuck. Why did I just forget? Anyway, cut that, go.
Yeah. No. I was just saying that because that stuck with me. And it was just through all this podcasting when you just kind of popped up in this whole space. I think you were on the 3000 podcast.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that's my. But then you're going by your Mafia now. But then I'm like, Mafia, that rings a bell. And then that's when I was looking back. I was like, oh shit, right, yeah.
Yes.
And it was all coming back. And then when we were chatting and you mentioned that Whitney Houston, was like, poof, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I remember that lights. I knew exactly where I was standing.
Oh my god, that's so great.
Yeah, I was up the back, sort of like towards the back.
I saw you up the back there.
That was me. And I remember when that dropped, and I remember the crowd just going bananas for that.
Yeah, that's a real, you've really got to have some balls to do that at Meredith. Because I didn't realise what Meredith was. This is one of those times where at the beginning of my kind of, I would call it professional career, because up until then it was just clubs and stuff, that I really was like, I should probably do my research and know what the kind of vibe is here. Mm-hmm. And I just went in just being very authentic to who I was, which at the same time I was in between yacht club DJs and bag raiders, so I was going to be okay to play mashups and to play some party stuff. But you've got to be like, you got to have balls to play that kind of shit. And also right time, because if everyone's pinging off their heads.
I think that's why you were there, because what Meredith tends to do, I don't know about now, it's been so long. That was what was it, 2009? That was
they did have they do now have more intersectional DJs that play that party stuff.
Yeah, I mean they kind of had that. Yeah. They had that. They get the vibes at that night, at that time of night. But I think that what they're really good at is just trying to throw in a couple of curveballs just to mix things up.
Yeah.
Because it was that year that Pharaoh Monch played as well.
Yes.
And I went to see, I'm a big fan of Pharaoh, and Sia played that set as well at that year. So I wanted to see them, and they weren't really known much at all. And people weren't there to see them. They were there to see Paul Kelly and whoever else is featured on Triple R. It's that kind of vibe.
Yes,
but then they'll throw a couple of the curveballs in there. And I was like, that is, for me, is what makes that festival so good.
Oh, I know. I want to play it again. Guys, if you're listening, I want to come back.
I think it's still charging, isn't it? It's still going.
Oh, yeah.
Golden Plains is probably just as big
I really
now.
want to do it again. Like I ended up doing Strawberry Fields too, which was super fun. Very off of the back of a Triple J mix that I'd done for their lunchtime mix-up. Where I was like, shit, I don't even listen to the radio. What do I play? And then I was like, I'm going to go back to my vinyl and just play a full vinyl set. And I was like, oh, I used to be a cool DJ. That's some cool shit. Because I used to work in a record store, so I've got so much vinyl and so many great white pressings and bootlegs that no one would be able to even find now.
Mm-hmm.
So that really kind of was in my favour when I went on Triple J. And then all of a sudden a lot of festivals came back. That was 10 years later.
Yeah, actually, there was a bit of a dip, wasn't there?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. Well, I mean, I've always been consistent. Are you talking about me?
No, not you. I mean, not the. Well, I guess the dip would have come because a lot of shows and festivals, there was a big drought there at one stage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I think there was maybe a couple of years where there were none. Where the year before that was, every month, every 2 months.
Well, that was straight after COVID opened. Everything came back real hard, and then everything got...
Even before COVID, I think that was
okay.
like, I'm thinking like, summer days.
Yes. Yeah,
around about when that dropped off,
Yep.
a whole bunch of other things
Future,
like Big Day Out,
Life,
all that.
Big
just,
Day Out. Yeah, they all did. That's
all just
correct.
kind of disappeared.
And then it was more kind of curated, like smaller events.
Yeah.
And then now, like, it's come back, like BTV, Beyond the Valley, Pitch, all those huge festivals.
The big ones,
then,
the camping ones. I think there's a lot of camping ones.
Yeah, which I've been fortunate to do too, which has been great. I remember on my 50th, I made a post about being 50 and still playing Beyond the Valley, and I was so proud of myself.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, I think I just aged myself out now. Great. Now everyone knows how old I am. What?
But it's also like the generation now has come back, that how the 90s has come back in full swing, or even like, Y2K.
Yeah, Y2K is really big at the moment.
It's
2000s,
big.
2000s pop is huge again. Great. It's all good for me.
Yeah, and like it all just, like if you just hang around long enough, it all comes back.
That's right, and that's what's happened in my career.
And it's weird to think that stuff is like retro now.
Yeah, I know.
Is it on Gold? What do they play on Gold?
Gold
anymore?
FM has gone now into like, it'd probably be 2000s now.
Oh, right.
Early 2000s. Like, it would be like, it was like when I was listening to it a lot back in just before COVID, it was, coming into 90s stuff. And I was like, 90s? Gold FM? What?
I did hear Nirvana on Gold. This is going back quite a while ago. I'm like, oh, shit, we're here. Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
All right.
Yeah. Because it all feels new to us still, right? Because we're still teenagers inside. We didn't grow up, did we? Sort of. Well, you're a dad now.
Sadly, some of us had to let go of some things for the greater good, though.
Yes.
There was some things.
Oh, yeah.
The maturity.
Yes.
And that's the push and pull. In terms of maturity, there are things that you have to sadly let go of, and there are some things that you're still vying for. There's that whole just trying to create like a child, all of that, and just try to find that, but not compromise, I guess. Not being an idiot, because it's very easy to fall into that trap of just being an idiot.
Yeah,
especially if you're when you're a guy and you're a boy, and boys do stupid things.
Right.
So having two boys, having to help them navigate that space. Thankfully, they are so good.
Great.
They're good kids.
Yeah, good.
But what do we get on this? So about
I aged
feeling
myself
young
up
at
being
heart.
50 at like Beyond the Valley, and like,
Yeah.
but I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I'm still able to do it. And there's not a lot of older female DJs out there. This is what
You're one of one.
Well, I was talking to Eric Powell, who's running a night out at Point Leo Estate socials, summer socials with Carl Cox, and he did like a big birthday event for him. For his birthday, and then he had a special guest, which we all knew was going to be Carl Cox. So we're like, let's get tickets anyway. This will be great, whatever. Love Eric Powell, love Carl Cox. And I went there with an intention of maybe having a chat, if I could, have a chat with them and talk to them about because, they're two older gentlemen that are still going very strong and have got great followings and like doing what they love to do. And maybe... there's a way of incorporating some older female DJs into this mix as well. And no, I don't think they're a bro club at all. I just think it's something that I don't think a lot of people know my age too, because I don't look it and I don't act it. But I also am really proud of it. It's not, and it has shot me in the foot being an older female DJ. Okay for boys, but girls, I don't know. Anyway, so I did end up having a chat to Eric, and I went over to say hi, and I don't expect anyone to know who I am, but he was like, oh my God, Mafia. And I was like, oh, hi, wow. And he goes, yeah, Meredith. And I went,
oh, shit.
Oh God, you saw me at Meredith. He goes, yeah, it was fantastic, great. And then so it was kind of my way in to have a chat with him. And then funnily enough, we all ended up in Perth at a show, and him and Carl and I were in the lobby at Crown having a chat and whatever. And it was just there is a space. There is we've got Jeanette. She's incredible, an older female DJ. We've got, there's some beautiful women that I came up with that are now getting back into DJing, having had a break, having had their kids, having done that. And there's, also on the other end of it, there's a lot of women that are having children that are still DJing, and, there's lots to do, lots for women to kind of have to comprehend to be able to get on stage and do their stuff if they've got families as well. So it's maybe a little bit harder. They can't just leave their kids, but I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really lucky that I've got stepchildren that are older and, you know, they're able to come to shows if they want to come to shows. But anyway, that was a long-winded story of coming back to being an older female DJ and like, yeah, there's not many around.
There isn't. And I think like you raised a good point. The challenges are different as well. You know, when you're talking about raising a family and there's like a big chunk of your life that you have to almost just put on pause or to move away from entirely, right? Like if you've decided to do that and when things, you know, once you have your kids and you have your family, so much has changed, not just in the world, but just within you as well, right? Like you are coming back as a different. I think
that's more the point. Because a lot of these women that have had children are still like they're young. They've got young kids and they're still out there doing their job because they love it and because it's their job. And it's like my partner was also, you know, she had her kids quite young and she was still doing her musical theatre and going off and doing shows. But she'd take her kids with her and have nannies and, you know, make it work. Because if you've got a passion, you're going to figure out a way to do it. And, you know, there are other elements for women to consider that maybe men don't have to. But that's not a sexist thing. I'm not trying to be sexist because I've never even thought about ageism or sexism or being gay, any of that stuff being a hindrance in my career. Like I've always just kind of gone, well, I'm just Mafia.
You're just who you are.
I am who I am. But like, it is a young person's game, DJing. You have to have that energy for one. Yeah. You have to really have the energy and like, you know, I feel like there's an avenue to be able to celebrate like older women.
Absolutely, especially if you're talking about industries or spaces where it's not common. And, you know, yours is most definitely, you are right, it's a younger person's game. And I think that most entertainment spaces are young people's games. And I think it really comes down to that energy, the freedom as well. And also a bit of naivety. I think that's key, right? Like, you know, when you're younger, you're more susceptible to taking risks.
Yes.
You have less consequences and you have a bigger safety net.
True.
Right? Like, generally speaking. And, you know, I can just speak for myself that having opportunities growing up and to do whatever it is that I wanted, I kind of like, and that's what I was saying about squandering that opportunity. I feel as though that I could have done better at that. I could have done better at just, because I had so many options. And I think this is one of the things, like for you, I guess that, you know, you meandered your way and you're like, I've found my thing, and you just went full throttle in this thing, and there was no one stopping you. So now you're like a 50-year-old woman in a professional DJ, because no one was going to stop you from doing that.
No.
Where it's like,
except for the people that have always said, so what are you going to do because you have to give up DJing, right? Like, you can't do this forever. I went, why not?
Why not?
Like, I'm fit. I can do it. Like, I'm athletic on those stages. Like, I can do it. There's nothing holding me back.
No.
So that mentality always like used to stump me because I was like, but it is a job. Because even I've gone, maybe I need to get a job. I'm like, I have a job.
Yeah.
Like, it is a job.
It's strange. I think culturally as well that we have that, you know, a view on what a job is and what a hobby is.
Sure.
Because I know there are a lot of DJs that are working full time and then they're working their weekend sets as well, right? So there's that, and intentionally wanting to keep things separate so they can enjoy it that way, so they don't have to deal with all the other stuff that you know. That
you're grinding. You have to grind. Like, you have to go, when's my next job? Like, when's this? When's it? You know, how do I even budget too? Like, how do I budget so that I'm okay if I don't have something come through?
Yeah, but then when you get to a certain level, like when you were talking to those DJs, like I think that once you're at a particular level, it seems to be a lot more open and welcoming for everyone, because when you're up the top, that you're dealing with people at that same level and you are so comfortable in your own success and who you are that you don't feel as though that you don't feel threatened.
No.
Right. And I think that's a lot of that is just about like just trying to be comfortable with who you are. So now in the position that you're in and the peers that you mix with, you're all at this level where like there's no...
Yeah, but that freaks me out. Like, that's hilarious to me that I get to like hang out with these really great artists and DJs and, these people that I grew up loving,
Yeah.
like Salt and Pepper, and like being friends with Spinderella, like what? And knowing these people, like they actually know who I am. Like I dreamed of that. I dreamed that people like those people, I literally would have dreams going, oh, they know who I am. This is so weird. How? And then it happened, and it's like it's so strange to be able to mix, because and I think a lot of them feel like that too.
I think
and that's what keeps you grounded, I guess, and that's what you find when the bigger the celebrity or the bigger the DJ or the bigger the artist, the more down to earth and more friendly they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the times.
Shit. I would reckon that there's also a particular section of that where they're just like, you're just not.
No, I've never found that. And I've been really lucky to tour with some really big names, and every one of them has been super, super kind and lovely. Like I've never had an issue. Never. It's generally like the people in their crew. You know what I mean? Like the friends of, or that don't really know how to. They're just riding on the coattails, I guess, or whatever they're doing. But but not the artists themselves. No.
This is a bit more grounded, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, we're all professional, and we're all doing a job.
There's professional.
Right? Yeah.
That's something that like I've really got to just get my head around, that the people that are doing at that level of entertainment, not even entertainment, but just in any creative pursuit, that there is a big part of it is the professionalism that they're bringing into it. Like, how are you presenting? How are you showing up to this, right? And to be able to be at that particular level, there's also, I guess, like a level of discipline and self-control because you look at some of the musicians, like I saw Sting and Paul Simon when they came out. This is going
awesome.
It was incredible. They're and they were playing together. They played with their own bands, but also played together.
Awesome. Oh.
This is going back maybe 10 years, 15 years ago. And I'm like, these guys have been doing this for like 50 years, right? Probably not quite, but close.
Yeah.
And, that they would have had to, at some point, decided that if they are going to have longevity in this and they want to reach the pinnacle of their careers, but just in industry, that you have to dial in certain things, and you can't just live lavishly and decadently, because that's going to chip off the years on the tail end of things.
It helps to have a really good moral compass,
Yeah.
And it's not an industry that promotes that, but it's really it's really imperative that you actually do have that.
That's a good point, actually, the moral compass, and you are right. Like it's not something that is held in a high regard, even though it should be the highest regard.
Exactly.
Where like there's a lot of people that would flaunt otherwise.
Yeah. But you can make it look like that too. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors in the end anyway, and people pretend to have these lavish lifestyles, or be like they're egocentric, and they're not. Like you see someone like Little John, right? And you see him, and he's such a character, and he's so full of life, and he's so larger than life. And then off stage, he is the sweetest, most grounded guy. He's got a meditation like album out, right? He's changed his whole life, but he was even like that beforehand. I remember sharing a dressing room with him at Fridays, and he was just really quite nervous. Not nervous, but just kind of, I wouldn't say guarded, just not brash, not big, over the top. Obviously saving his energy for the stage.
Yeah.
If you think about it, but also just really, really, really lovely guy.
And then when you see people at that level, you see them there, and you don't really consider that trajectory, the years. Like
because he's been doing it for years.
Yeah. And to what you were saying about how, you played at Strike Bowling, every DJ starts off there. You start off, mixing in your bedroom.
Yep.
And you're doing that. You're putting your videos out, you're sharing the content with, no one's watching you, doing all that.
Yeah.
In order to get to a big arena or a stadium show, that's grinding. And there's a lot of lessons that are accumulated and learnt along the way. Like if you were to just take someone, pluck them out of obscurity and drop them down the end there, they're going to fucking drown.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Unless they've got a really good team around them. But even that still, it's like, as I said, the moral compassing. Like for me, when I was DJing back in the day, every gig was an opportunity for me. Every gig I was on, I was never not on. I was never phoning it in. And, when phones did come in, I was never on my phone. It was always away. And people would be messaging me, trying to get into a club or whatever, and I'll never see it because I'm busy, I'm working, and I want to be present. And, I didn't realise, a lot of the clubs that I was playing at were, fronted by Mushroom Records or Gadinsky or Molly Meldrum. They all had, these beautiful venues around Melbourne especially that I was DJing at that I didn't know people were taking notice of me there. So I didn't know when that call came to come on to Fridays, R&B Fridays back then it was. I had no idea that I'd already been playing for these people. I'd been auditioning, in a sense, And, of course, my reputation preceded me, which was that she's going to get the job done. You can rely on her and she'll fucking do a great show. And I think that was the three fundamentals for them. And then, I came on board and I hope I exceeded their expectations. Well, I must have because I'm still there.
Yeah.
It's 7-8 years later now. So, and I'm really proud of that because it was one thing that I really wanted in my career was to be part of Mushroom Records. Because a lot of the people that I looked up to in the 90s, because I was in...
that was huge.
Yeah, I was a big Smash Hits reader, a big, all those Channel V, all of that. So I was into it. I was in. I wanted to be part of the pop culture zeitgeist. And then when I found out, Kylie Minogue was on Mushroom Records, Jo Beth Taylor was on Mushroom Records, all these people, Debbie Gibson, all these people, I was just that's where I got to be. So when that call came, just to do R&B Fridays... I saw that it was a Mushroom entity and I went, I'm going to try and get managed by them. This is my goal now. And that's what happened.
Wow.
So, I
like that point, how you were saying that everything was an opportunity. And I guess that you look back, you can see that retrospectively, that everything that you did. And I guess it just goes to show how much the things that you do.
Sure. Make an impact.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Sure, yeah.
Count for more than what you're putting out in front. Because, that showmanship part of things, the entertainer, that's all well and good. But when you're not being... It's sort of how are you conducting yourself when no one's watching kind of thing?
Can we trust you?
Yeah. And if, it's great to have that air about you when you're on stage. But
yeah, because I think most people saw that and just went, oh, she's so cringy, or she's such a fool, or and I got a lot of hate, but I never cared. I was having fun.
I don't know about cringe. I think it would have just been
I think I did rub a few people up the wrong way, and that's fine. They let me know. And
really?
Yeah, but I get it. I do get it. I do watch myself and I see it, but I'm in on the joke. That's the thing. Because no one understands, Mafia to me is a character as well. I'm an actor, right? It's a character. It's the greatest character of my life. I got to play myself at a heightened level. And Maria's very different. And there's a lot more... I wouldn't say seriousness because I'm always a fool, but there's a lot more strategy behind it than just being an idiot on stage and dancing around and, having fun. And, there's a reason why I keep getting booked, obviously. There's a reason why I've still got a career.
Do you think having that stage persona helps with just being able to bring it? And what I mean by that is especially just using that back-to-back as an example, going from Sydney to Perth, and you saying that, okay, what I need to do is step in to Mafia.
Yep.
And then you can just do that, and then the baggage that you're able to leave behind is oh, fuck, I'm tired. It's no, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Mafia's not.
Yeah.
She's on.
Exactly.
Does it help you with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so bipolar as that because they are one and the same. We are one and the same. But it is very much, I know at the end of this, I'm going to have a week off that I don't have to get out of my pajamas, and I can just lay in bed, which I didn't do because I'm always what's the next thing? What's the next thing? Because there's always stuff to kind of get ready for. And as I said, preparation is key. So I spend a lot of time preparing for things. But I do know that there's going to be at least 2 days where I can just go, oh, I don't have to do anything. This is great. But also... there is something I was watching, I don't know what I was watching yesterday, some show, and there was ballet dancers on stage, and I did turn to my partner and go, hey, you must really miss being on stage, because I'm really fortunate to still be able to be on stage, and I know what that would be like to not be able to be on stage. Because if you're somebody that has spent your whole career being on stage and performing, and then you can't anymore, you don't anymore, it's devastating. It's a devastating thing. It's like, you've spent your whole life performing.
It's an identity crisis, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I've had many of them throughout my career. Yeah, because things have ebbed and flowed as well.
It's like, who am I without this?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what do I do if I don't DJ? What am I going to do? Well, back to acting. Hi, anyone casting? You know what I mean? Like, it's the grass isn't greener for me. So it's like, the grass is really green here, and I love it. So I'll do anything to stay here.
Oh, the grass is greener where you water it as well, right?
Yeah,
so
true.
like, if you're in this spot where you are now, and you have so much gratitude for the situation that you've grown for yourself, and you can.
But I think that's the other key to it too. Throughout my career, I've had so much, I feel so grateful that I'm able to do this, and but there has been also times where I've booked too much and I've spread myself too thin, and that's been also really hard to kind of navigate, because you want the work and you want the attention and you want the need, that, oh, they want me, oh, I'm still getting booked, but then you have to find a way to go, hang on, I'm not a machine though.
Yeah, and that's how did you navigate that? Like, how did you just draw a line in the sand and just say that, what, how did you identify your threshold?
I came off of, in 2023, I was booked really solidly. I came back from COVID real hard, and I came back to back off of R&B Fridays or Fridays Live into Robbie Williams tour, and then off of that to a festival, then off of that to a big gig at a really big corporate entity. And I'm talking back to back, there was no break for I reckon a month. There was no break, and it was really intensive work. And when I'm doing R&B Fridays, it's gigs in between each set. And yeah, they're 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes, but it's that coming off stage to chill for 2 minutes and then get back up and then come up and get back up, which is not natural to do energy-wise, right? So it's and then flying and then going to another stage, another, rehearsal, another tech run. And something happened. I just remember ringing my manager just going, I can't do this. I've never done that before. And that was me turning 50 too, and coming to grips with the fact that I was getting older as well. So I was a lot of stuff was playing on my mind, and a lot of stuff was I was feeling overwhelmed, and I'd never and also we'd all come off of COVID, so we'd come off of 2 years of not doing anything. So I wasn't show fit.
Yeah, true.
So I literally, what ended up happening was I culled back a lot of gigs, and then I really got into my health. So I lost 20 kilos. I started going to the gym 4 times a week and eating better and drinking a lot more water and just being a lot more healthier with my choices health-wise. It gave me that outlet, going to the peninsula, moving to the peninsula and getting away from everything, because I'm a big foodie. I love eating out, love nice restaurants. So it was, and now I've got a family, and I'm in a family situation, which, you got to save your money. You can't be going out every night and every weekend. So it allowed me to kind of get my health into check. And so now I'm oh my God, I'm raring to go now. You thought I had energy before. Jesus. Here we go.
Yeah, right. And so then the boundaries and the limitations kind of they shift depending on everything else around it.
Yeah, and I've got a really great team, a really great booker, booking agent, and an incredible manager, shout out Sarah, who really look after me. And they're they listen. And they also they're my biggest fans. They're Team Mafia. They want to help me kind of get better stuff for, and it was work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. And I think you've earned that position, doing the years, the decades, you've put yourself in this position where you are able to not having to put pedal to the metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to say yes to everything.
That's
now.
Right.
And I think that it's the years of just grinding and just shoveling shit, you earn the right to not have to do that.
Yeah, but there is a panic too sometimes when it's quiet and I go, oh, I'm used to doing 8 gigs a week. Why am I not working? You know, because that's my standard. But then I go, well, one, I can't maintain that. And two, also, you don't want to like, you know, there was a point there probably in the late 2010s where I was everywhere and it was too much Mafia, too much. You know, let's just bring it back a bit and like be a little bit more kind of, you know, specific on what I'm doing. But doing that disco club show, like I really wanted to prove to myself that I could do that.
That's all well.
And do like 3-hour gig, hectic, bang, floor to the wall, and then fly and travel because, you know, that is very different to doing the intersectional stuff where you have a break. There was no break.
So, like, it was just 3 hours non-stop, well, how could you even have an intermission?
There's no intermission.
Yeah, you couldn't.
No, that doesn't exist. So that's fine. You know, and I did it. And I came out of it. I mean, I did come out of it a little bit broken, but, like, that's okay. I bounced back. And I think that's what it is, bouncing back.
It's just being able to, like, just push that threshold just that little bit more.
Yeah.
It's like endurance, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly it. I wanted stamina. I was like, how am I going to get stamina? Because I'm really good at the fucking bursts of energy, but how can I sustain it? And a lot of that had to do with getting some weight off and like sorting out my knees and my comorbidities and like just getting my health back in check. So
20 kilos is a lot.
Well, it's 28, but
28. That's a lot. I'm thinking like, you know, you got a 20 kilo plate.
Yeah.
Right. And almost another 10 kilo plate. That's a lot to carry around.
Oh yeah. And I jump a lot. I
move
bounce.
around. Yeah.
I bounce. There's not a lot of steps there because I always go to look at my steps. I'm like, what? When I'm on stage. And then someone said to me, put in like your workout as rope, like bouncing like rope. And I was like, oh, okay, but don't have to lift. They're like, no, it's just that motion. But yeah, there's a lot of bouncing. So it's really, really impactful on my knees. But
I'll bet.
Yeah. But they're good now. Everything's good.
I was checking out some music on Spotify. There's a big surge in AI music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you dabbled much into that? Have you listened to much of that?
Yeah, I have, because I kind of got sucked into like downloading some of the 50s versions of like, you know, 50 Cent and AC/DC, the funk stuff. And then I was like, oh, no, I don't like this. I can't do this.
It's a bit scary.
It's really scary. But Suno has now been disbanded, right? From what I believe, which is what Timbaland was using.
Yeah.
So that's no longer
his artist.
His artist, yeah. So I don't think that's viable anymore. I think people have pushed back on that. But, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see where it goes because I was at HMV Records working there when MP3s started coming in.
Yep.
And streaming. And we were like, what do you mean people aren't going to buy CDs? And then lo and behold, 2 years later, the whole Sanity, HMV, they're all gone. So, you know, and now it's like, I mean, now people are starting to burn CDs again, which is cool.
Are they?
Yeah, a lot of artists are burning their own CDs, mini discs.
Mini discs are back.
Mini discs are back. It's all back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I wish I had my CD collection still, but...
Because I think a lot of people, they're not aware of how good, high quality CDs actually are.
Yeah, or vinyl too, yeah. But
vinyls, yeah. Vinyl. But they've overtaken CDs now. And it seems like a strange stat, but at the same time, it's like, who's actually buying CDs anymore? But vinyls make a lot of sense.
Yeah, vinyl, yeah. No, everyone's back on the CD thing. It's cool at the moment. We'll see how long it lasts.
As in, like, they're selling players
Yeah,
now?
you can get players and tape decks as well. You can get Walkmans. You can buy Walkmans. So anything analog.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kids now.
This is what we're saying about the resurgence of the analog.
Absolutely. And a lot of kids now are using wired headphones again.
Yeah.
Tapping out of the wireless. I can't do it now. I can't do I have to have the noise cancelling when I'm on the flights.
Oh, you have to. Yeah.
So I'll stay there.
Walkmans are painful though. Like, that's one thing I'll advise against. Don't go to cassettes.
Yeah,
that's just painful.
The flip over and the.
It's just that coils. Once you like, I can just that irritation when you first realize the batteries are dying.
Oh yes.
Oh
yes, that's right.
And like it's not getting better from here.
Nah,
and
it's now dying.
Yeah, it's now dying.
I had one of those yellow Sony
Walkmans.
Walkman, yeah. Actually, when I worked at Dixon's Recycled Records, which was the first record store I worked at, I went overseas and they bought me one. They gifted me one, which I loved. It was awesome, so I took that away with me. But then I came back to the store. I came back from my job, and then I left again, and I was like, "Do I get another one?" Like
That
a
might
CD
be worth
Walkman.
something.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore.
Oh.
I do hold on to a lot of stuff, but I didn't, unfortunately. All my cassettes, all my VHS. Oh my God, I had so many VHS.
They're gone.
Gone.
Oh, that's a shame.
Recorded a lot. I used to record a lot of episodes of, well, this could be a little bit weird for now, but like Roseanne. I used to love Roseanne.
That was
And
good. Roseanne was good.
I loved it. I loved it so much. I dreamed about being on the show, and I used to hook it up to my mixer because I had 2 belt drive record players and a mixer and a tape deck, and I'd hook it up to my mixer, record it onto a cassette, listen to the cassette on my. I used to catch a bus from Melbourne to Adelaide to go see my family because I was afraid of flying, and listen to it, which is now a podcast, right?
And you're visualizing
I knew every scene. I knew exactly where Laurie Metcalf was or Roseanne was. And, like, that was kind of, like, how I was so obsessed with TV.
That's
and
awesome.
Also, I don't know how I learnt to do that. And, yeah, now I was a podcast before podcasting.
Oh, there could be something in that.
Yeah.
There could be something like listening.
Well, audiobooks, right? But
like watching
TV shows.
listening to sitcoms while you're out and about.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason why I brought up the whole AI thing was that I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how I know Google have a language model where you can just type in the prompts that you want and it can spit out something that sounds around about what it is. Vocals are not great at, as in like with actual words.
Right.
But it can create vocals that sound like words. They're just not saying the words.
Right.
So if it was like background, you wouldn't even notice.
Right.
So that is where we're at now because a lot of the music that we consume these days, the music is secondary to whatever else it is background noise, right? So if you're at the gym, you listen to music. You're at the home cooking, you listen to music.
Yeah.
So if you want to set a particular mood, you can just type in what it is that you want to listen to and it will just create it just on the spot. Yeah, and even to the point where you could even put in with the Google that language model, you could get a painting, or even just say, for example, Van Gogh's Starry Night, right? You can get the Wikipedia description of that and chuck it into that language model, and it'll create a song that would be the audio version of what a visual thing will look like.
Wow.
So it has this one piece of artwork that gets translated from being a visual piece to now a musical piece.
Right.
And there's all these really crazy things that you can do. And I'm just wondering, like with music, it's just, I guess that it's gotten to the point where you can create whatever music you want just by using prompts and cues.
Yeah, but anyone can. I mean, people have been
can.
doing it for years. Like, you know, we watch TV shows and we hear like music that's in the background or that helps to emote a scene. And there's people that do that professionally.
Yeah.
And so I would be so against doing that because I know how much work goes into actually making that thing happen. Because, I mean, how do they tap into the emotional state of people though? You know, because guesses.
It's
right?
guessing.
Are we that simple now? Like,
Apparently, classical music is super simple.
yeah, right.
It is actually the easiest one to do, where they were explaining how Mozart was essentially like, once he worked out his way of doing music, and it was like copy paste. And that was his process. So now, because of how simple classical music actually is, when I say simple, as in like for a computer to work out, right, and to aggregate.
Well, because it's had so much data.
It can work it out. It could just spit out something that would be, I guess, like classically perfect.
Right.
It can do that with.
But that's the problem. It's perfect.
That is,
and it leaves no room for authenticity and no room for rawness.
That's part of it. That's because it is going to be an aggregate of averages. It doesn't know how to. It doesn't know how to push it to different areas of extremes. But then the thing is, like with what you do, it's about using whatever sounds. Then because we resonate with sound on such an emotional level, right? Like
this is what I mean emotionally.
So I'm still not sure about how we connect with that type of music, because how good is it? How good is AI at trying to fake emotion?
Well, I think it happened like also when Spotify decided that they were going to have this DJ like part of their playlist. So you now it just plays continuously as a, so
And
who
mixes.
needs a DJ anymore? And we were all worried that it was coming for our jobs, but that didn't happen. So I think there's a need for it maybe at home, but like when people go out,
Oh no.
half the time,
Yeah,
was
yeah,
at
yeah.
home, where?
Yeah,
I
people
think
go
when
out.
people go out, they're now more, they want to see someone doing something. It's like, but it is like that thing of like, also, you know, Netflix now. There's a show called The Comeback, right? And it's Lisa Kudrow's show, and she's a reality star actress. No, she's not a reality star. She's an actress, but she's got like it's a mockumentary. But she's now in this new season. It's her going to do this TV show that's all written by AI, and it's because like Netflix literally said to Matt Damon on that new show that he did with Ben Affleck, this new movie, like, you have to say the premise every 2 minutes because people are not watching specifically.
They're creating content differently now.
But this all might be what's happening at home. I think when people go out, like when they're going to a bar and when they're going to the theatre, they still want that real life experience. They obviously are not going to get AI out there. So there is always going to be room for that. But I just...
I think that's the thing, right?
We're all a little scared about it, I think. But it's because we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know. But I think that where I sit with it is that the better AI gets, the more we're going to lean on it, but the more that we're also going to want to go to that human connection.
Absolutely.
And I think that what you do, you work in a space of curating emotion.
Yep.
You're creating an experience that is so emotive, but intensely so.
Yes.
That I don't know if, and you've got a knack, and over the years you've worked out a knack of how to read the room, right? Like you get a good sense, like you have this innate sense of being able to pick up the energy and how to feed it, and then where to pare back, and then what ingredients to dial up and down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is something that can be calculated.
No, it can't. So I should be all right? This is where we're going with this.
I think you should. You should be all right.
Yeah. This is why you kind of want to be a little bit outside the box when you're doing a career like this, and you've got to kind of keep shifting and changing and pivoting, and you can't be like following a trend. You know, I've never followed trends. I've never done that. I've always been very authentic to who I am, and as you said, like you stick around long enough, it comes back around, and you're all right. You know, so it's and it's really hard not to follow trends. It's really hard not to go, oh, everyone's doing that. I could probably do that. It'd be easy. But then, you know, it's also flash in the pan, and it's all becoming even more like that attention span's getting shorter and shorter. So, you know, I'm just, as I said, always, I'm grateful to be able to still have that live connection and to do those shows and because I did Twitch for a long time during COVID online, which was great because I'm used to like looking down the barrel of a camera because of my acting background, and so that wasn't too hard for me. What was hard was having all the people in the chat and you feel like you're having a party, but I was living by myself during COVID, and then you'd finish, you'd close your laptop and you'd like go, where is everyone? Oh, it's just me. You know, and then there's that kind of come down of not having that connection anymore.
Losing that, yeah. And that was the closest we could get, is something on Twitch where you could actually see someone moving.
Yes.
And you know, hear someone's voice.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show, like, with, you know, the longevity part of your career is just really comes down to sticking to your own wits, right? Like, and because the person who I saw on stage in 2009 is the same person that's sitting across from me now. Quite honestly, like we're
one in the same. Maria and Mafia, very similar, but I'm just a bit heightened on stage.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm pretty out there now.
You're carrying, I guess, just like a sample of that energy right now, right? Like you still got that. You still got that aura around you, like for sure, 100%. Like it's not, and we're talking that was 17 years ago. Yeah, I know, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, so
I was a baby.
Where like
I was 18.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So no, that air, that I guess just being comfortable with in your own skin,
Yeah.
and being able to play the long game and just being like, okay, just stick to this, and just continue to progress along, and just to treat every opportunity treat every instance that came up in your career as an opportunity for growth and development.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a smart thing to do. Thank God for that, Maria. Because, you know, I always think about that and just go, God, I was like, thank God that I kind of knew that back then. Somehow knew to like go, don't just stick to being hip hop. Don't just stick to being, don't be like a gay DJ. Don't box yourself in. Like, don't ever think that you need to be one thing. You can be anything. You can open it up. You can be versatile. And I think that really helped, because when I first started DJing, I was generally the only, well, I was very hip hop back then, but I'd be the only hip hop DJ on like a rock lineup or like a magazine launch where there'd be punk bands, and then I would come in and play some hip hop. And, you know, it worked really well. But like, I always knew, I was always invested in other styles of music as well. So when I even went at the secondhand record store, I had to learn all different types of music to be able to sell the product. And so that really gave me like a sense of, that's an education in playing all types of music and understanding music too. So that was the basis of it all. But also, yeah, that whole thing, and also being called Mafia was like a real like obvious thing for me to be very gender non-specific. Like, I didn't want to be coming across as a female DJ. I'm just a DJ. And I like people going, what is it? What? I don't get it.
The ambiguity.
I think I like it. I'm not sure. And then by the end of it, I love it.
Yeah.
Or I hate it. But it's generally, I love it. And I love seeing that shift in people, especially when they're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, just wait. Just wait, I got you.
That was exactly what Meredith was like.
Yeah, it is. And I understand that. I really understand that. I understand that people have no idea what I am, and then by the end of it, they fucking love me.
Yeah, they're bought in.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I really have loved throughout my career see that shift happen.
How do young up and coming artists, or even not even up and coming artists, but just older, more matured, settled artists that are, I guess, trying to form an identity, how do they capture that? What is the key to being able to capture your own essence?
I think a strong sense of self helps. I've always had a real... Is this what you mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Because there's going to be, like, in this day and age, it's just so easy. And I think that it is far too easy to be versatile, because we're getting stimulus from all kind of directions, right?
Sure.
And when you're exposed to so much, it's hard to know what to tap in.
do. Yeah, like how to focus in.
Yeah. So, like, how would you then and now navigate something like that?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question, because I don't have to do it now.
Yeah.
Because it's natural to me. I think it's always been natural to me. It's also a reason why people go, why don't you teach how to DJ? I went, because I don't know, because it's just natural to me. So I wouldn't know how to fundamentally show you how to do it. So,
Not even in DJ specific, but I think
I mean, I am actually thinking like as a person too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like I got a lot of shit growing up from my family for being loud and obnoxious and embarrassing and over the top and just like very too much. Mm-hmm. But I would have this sense of myself, even as a 5 or 6 year old, I would go into my bedroom and go, I love you, don't worry. And like, so just having that self-love and self-knowledge of going, I know who I am as a person. I know that there's so many outside voices coming in that are trying to tell me otherwise. I know that there's so many things I could do too. Like, where do I go? Because I was dancing, I was acting, I was doing all these things, like whatever I could, because I had so much fucking energy. So I think when there are so many outside things going on, I think it's what's going to really, I think it all comes down to passion. Like, what's your passion? Which is a really hard question for people to answer, especially if they don't have the outlet to live their passion. Because what is your passion? Like, for me, it was hip-hop. That was my passion. And that's kind of where the fundamental of my career and like being a DJ started. So it was really nice to come back around and do that kind of gig last year as my love letter to hip hop. Because I was born in 1973, the same year hip hop was born. So it was like, again, full circle moment. That's the fundamental. Like, I feel like there needs to be probably a fundamental that you can kind of branch off. Because why do we have to box ourselves in though?
We don't. I think that a lot of it is just we've been told to do that. There's a lot of conversation going on, you see on social media about, like, I don't know, I hate the term, but personal brand.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reason why I hate the term, because it almost forces you to separate yourself from who you actually are and to create a persona. And for some, it might work, right? Because they want that separation. But then I think that for others, then it doesn't give them something to identify with necessarily.
But that's for other people, though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you go, I'm creating a personal brand so other people understand who I am.
Yeah, okay.
Right? It's never for you. Like, what's my brand?
Oh, that's a good point.
It's not for you. You should know who you are. Like, but how you want people to perceive you is a different thing, which is how the Mafia thing happens, right?
Yeah.
Because I've heard the brand thing since back in the day, like before I started DJing.
It's big in music.
What's your brand?
Yeah.
What's your brand? What's your brand? And I was like, what do you mean brand? What, I'm an entity now? Oh, well, Yo Mafia is my brand. Like that. Well, I don't know. It is. And then it was like, but then it did become about branding and become about all that stuff. But that's been around forever, though. That's not something that's new. I think it's new now because it's like there's a whole new generation of kids that brand really well.
It's only because you have this social media presence and how to separate yourself or not separate yourself from that. You know, when you have all these other people just chirping at you, you still manage just to have that confidence in you. And I think that's a tough thing to try to uphold.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to start listening to the other voices.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, I've caved sometimes and I've become, it's more about, because I've also got the other side of me from the acting, which is a people pleaser. You know, I'm a very big people pleaser. I want to make sure people are happy. But then I have friends that tell me, you've showed me how to set boundaries. Like, I didn't know how to set boundaries until you started telling me about boundaries. I went, what, me? Like, yeah, you're pretty strict on your boundaries. I'm like, am I? Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. That just comes innate to me. Like, no, that's too much for me. I'm stepping out of that now and being unabashed about it. But there's the other part of me that's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, are you okay? You know, and I run a fine line with that because especially like doing something, you know, those big tours and big shows like that, you know, you've got to run the line of also being very flexible and approachable and accountable, and like there's a lot at play there where you're like, you still have to have that, you know, knowledge of self and understanding and be really strong in who you are, but at the same time be able to feed other people's egos, I guess, and make sure they're okay.
That's some sound advice. You are conducting yourself in a world of other people that also need to figure out. It's that give and take.
Yeah, because it's that thing of like, it's not about me, but it is about me. When's it about me? Is it about me? You know, I'm on a podcast talking about me. You know, this is the dichotomy of it all. Whereas, like, you know, I feel like a lot of times I'm like, are you okay? Is this okay? Like, so many times I want to be asking you questions, right? But I'm like, but do we do that? You know, I can.
When I get guests on the podcast, it's also for selfish reasons because I want to learn from people that are doing good shit.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Inspiration
for sure, but it's also like, how did you get to this particular point? And I don't mean like, give us a roadmap.
Sure.
It's more like, what were the underlying layers, and just try to have those conversations. So it is selfish. So it is your world, my world, and the world's colliding right now. So that's how you got to navigate the world.
Well, you inspire me too. I've been loving your podcast. I love what you do. I love the platform that you give to people to express themselves, and these incredible creatives that you like somehow. I've said it 100 times because then I go, I don't like the word personal brand. Curate. You've curated this like great sense of like guests that not a lot of people are putting on their shows. you know, and giving a platform for them to speak their truth. And, you know, so it's really inspirational too.
Well,
you should be really proud of yourself.
No, thank you. But this goes back to what you were saying.
No, but
you. Again, like what you were saying about, like, why do I have to pigeonhole myself, right? So that's kind of why right now I'm speaking with a DJ. Yeah. And last week I spoke with a visual artist. The next podcast is going to be with someone who's studying interior design.
Oh, great.
So it's just this variation, because it is about just trying to, for me personally, to get inspiration from creative people from all walks of life and just seeing how I can take that nugget of wisdom and inject it into my practice.
Sure.
But also the platform thing is really important. Like, I want people to come into a space that is elevated, right? Yeah. Because I want them to know that the level that we're all playing at has to be high, right? Just to lift the game up for everybody.
Yeah, we all want that.
I find a lot of the times that there's a lot of creative people, not just creative people, just actually fucking anybody, they really downplay what they have to offer to the world, right? They're really coy about it, when it's like, you don't understand, like, you can learn something from everyone.
Sure.
You have a particular lens that is very unique to you that I can learn from, other people can learn from. Right?
Well, I think, like, those people, they're so focused on doing rather than, like, you know, they're in it, they're doing it, they're doing their creativity, they're doing their passion, they're doing their thing. And you know, we also have a very tall poppy syndrome in Australia, where it's like, if you start talking about yourself too much, you know,
that's the problem.
You know, and I've copped that, and I'll cop it on the chin too, because I know it about myself. Go, me again.
No, but I think it's great though, because when you're doing it in a way that you're propping yourself up, then what you're doing is elevating the standard, because it comes down to what we're saying about, like, being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
Right? If people are going to be shitting on you, it says more about them than you.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So if I see someone that is able to carry themselves like you, then it's like, why can't I do that?
Sure.
Right? Where are my shortcomings?
Right.
Like, if I'm going to be judgmental about the way that someone carries themselves, like, what is it saying about me?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's always about your shit.
So it's always about your shit.
Yeah.
So that's the point of this platform, is like, it's just to break down those barriers and just to give everyone a platform and be like, fuck it, let's just go all the way.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
All
the way. Like, who would have thought? Like, I remembered that day, well, that week that I was deciding that I was going to quit Sneaker Freaker, because I was like, I want to DJ full time and I don't want to be in an office, and this is like a lot of work, and I love it so much. I loved working there. I loved being around the culture of sneakers, and you know, because it was not just sneakers, it was art, it was culture, it was clothing, it was all of it. And to be able to, like, be in that, in the epicenter of this incredible magazine for 2 days. It was started at 3 days a week, then went down to 2 days because my DJ career started really popping off. And then I just remember that week going, I got signed to a booking agent, and I knew I was about to get really busy. And I wasn't going to be able to give Woody the kind of attention that the magazine needed. And I was like, but can I do this? Like, can I just DJ full time? Like, am I going to be okay? And I was like, yeah, I will. It's fine. You can do it. You're just going to have to. If you want to do this, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Jump in. And I remember that first week of doing full time, like being a full time DJ. And of course, you know, the week started on a Friday and ended on a Sunday or a Thursday to Sunday. So, like, you know, Monday to Wednesday, I'm like, what am I doing? Am I a doll? What's going on? Where is everyone? Oh, they're all at work. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
But I got used to it real quick, and I've been really lucky, like, from 2012 to be able to just do this full time and not have to have something to fall back on, which was probably stupid in the long term, because if I do want to maybe pivot to something else, what will it be? Who knows? But it will have to be in the kind of DJ music arena, or it might not. Who knows? Who knows? But hopefully I can keep doing this.
So what's on the horizon for now anyway? Bit of R&R? Because you just got back from that tour.
Yes, no. I go to Sydney in about a week. I've got a big gig there. And then in May, I've got an even bigger gig coming up. And these are gigs I have to prepare for. So there's some groundwork to be done, especially with the VDJ stuff. I've got to really, like, you know, they're curated shows. Again, with the curated. They're like specific shows, so they're custom built. And I do all that stuff mostly. I've got a visual artist that helps me out. Ego, shout out, you're the best. He helps me out as well. But I try and do as much as I can so it's very authentic to me and my brand. And then in June, I've got something very exciting happening, which I can't say about.
Cool.
But you'll see it. It'll be
in June.
Yep, and it'll be
Here in Australia?
It'll be probably worldwide. We'll see.
Ooh, okay.
What? Newsflash for you. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I think we're going to go back on the Disco Club tour towards the end of the year, and then Friday's Live will happen as well. So it's looking pretty stacked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What do
So
you
I'm all right for 2026, I think. We shall see, hopefully.
Mafia, it's been so awesome to connect with you. We've been wanting to do this for quite a while, getting everything to align, you living a million miles away from here and always on the road. So I really, really appreciate
Thanks, Wayne.
Let's
Thank
making
you
the
so
time.
much.
No, so thank you very much for sharing all of this. And
My pleasure.
I'm looking forward to see what's coming up, especially what's coming up in June.
Me too. Oh, yeah. All right. I might tell you off camera. No, I'm not allowed. Contracted.